Welcome to the guide on Black Prior. I'm a Black Prior main, and today I'm going to be teaching you about Black Prior pretty in-depth. I'm going to make sure like everything's covered, the way I play him and the way that works for me and everything like that. So, Black Prior is my favorite character because of his defensive, offensive capabilities. I think they're one of the best in the game, honestly. I'm literally making this tutorial for beginners and advanced people too. Just make sure I'm covering everything in depth, and anyone has questions, I'll definitely answer in the comments. Probably due to the fact I have 0 subscribers, but I digress. And I'm also going to put timestamps in the descriptions as well, so if you're lost on a certain part, if you don't know how to do a certain part, it's going to be in there. So let's get started. Enough blabbering on. First thing I like to do with Black Prior is to throw a couple lights at him. Black Prior's lights are like medium-ish to fast-ish compared to like Orochi's or anyone that good. I usually like to get like I like to do this because I like the size of my enemy. I want to see if he can parry. I want to see if he can block good. I'm literally like just a little bit. You don't want to do too much so he's gonna parry you or something. You know, you don't want to do too much to risk that. So that's the first thing I like to do. The first move I want to talk about Black Prior, which he's honestly kind of known for, is Cannabis. So the pros about Cannabis is that you get a free light after doing Cannabis, so that's damage to the enemy. You also drain stamina. It's a little bit of stamina. It's very good for situations in which the opponent just wailed on you like crazy and he's about to run out of stamina, and you just Cannabis him 1 or 2 times and he's out of stamina. It's a great situational thing to use. And 3, you get to knock people, you get to bash people out of edges, out of cliffs, etc., and they die instantly, like I've been showing now. The cons about this is that Cannabis is very avoidable depending on the person you're facing against. The next part is, I call it the overextender, because anybody who is sidestepping you is going to get hit by it. So if your Kensei is trying to sidestep you, he's doing his move, or a Valkyrie's trying to sidestep, or a Peacekeeper's trying to sidestep, this most of the time is going to hit them. It's going to track them a little bit and it's going to hit them. Most of the time it hits, I think certain characters, I think Gladiator can dodge this or something like that. It's R1 and R2 at the same time. They call it the zone attack. And you press R1, R2, and free light. Remember, you get a free light on this one too. Cannabis, you get a free light. This, you get a free light as well. You see how Black Prior's kind of like, you get like guaranteed free lights if you hit this stuff. I'll show some examples now. All right, the next part is Zindan-gani. Now, Zindan-gani is pressing your heavy button, mine's R1, and square at the same time, and then you're going to light them. Let me show you how this works. R1 square at the same time, and then R2, which mine's the light. So R1 square, same time, R2. So now the pros of Zindan-gani is the main reason, which is cutting distance between you and your opponent. This is very good for enemies out of stamina and they're trying to run away or something like that, or they're just trying to run in to begin with. Zindan-gani closes a lot of distance. And number 2, it does damage. You get a free light after doing Zindan-gani. Number 3 is you get to reduce some stamina off of them by doing Zindan-gani, and it's very unexpected and very fast. So the cons of Zindan-gani is basically, if you do Zindan-gani too early, you will get short stopped and they're going to hit you right when you stop, because there's a little bit of delay between like when you recover from a Zindan-gani if you do not hit your target. So that's probably the only con. And I'm going to show you an example right here on how I short stopped an opponent. Alright, next move I use pretty often. It pisses off a lot of people, and I think Black Prior is one of the most known for this. Like, you do this to someone, I honestly, I get butthurt when someone does it, because it's like, god damn, you read me. You're going to be putting your right stick down, like this, in this form, and you're going to press light attack. So my controller, it's down, R2. Down, R2. So the pros about this move is that if the opponent's really predictable, like Orochi or Valkyrie, they like to spam, or it's Tiandi too. Basically, any character likes to spam or is very predictable movement. You can literally flip them over. So let me give you some real life examples I did today. So the cons of his underthrow is based on your ability to read your opponent's moves. I think this is the most difficult Black Prior move in his set, and this is why I think you need to practice a lot with this. This is probably the last move it took me for a while to get down before I started actually doing some work in actual games. So if you're going to do the underthrow, make sure you practice it a lot. Make sure you're reading your opponent. You start taking notes of how they hit you. Do they do a light first? Do they do a heavy first? Do they try to go for a bash or some mix-ups? And you can aggressively get this down and do some damage to the enemy. Just remember, this can always backfire if you're doing this. So if you're going to do this, make sure it's almost 100% that it's going to work. That's basically the main moves I use for Black Prior that get me to win. Here's some advanced tips and tricks here. So my number one concern about Black Prior is that his stamina use is very he uses a good amount. With the cannabis, you can see I used at least 20 stamina right there for one cannabis. So if you keep spamming that, I think for about 3 or 4 cannabises, you're gonna run out. Especially if he's blocking your light. If he's blocking this light, he's gonna drain your stamina. Also, this drains half of your stamina as well, because it's a zone move. Most zone moves just drain half stamina. And Zindonkeni. So you're getting a lot of benefit by getting all these good bashes, these free lights after, but you have to watch your stam. Like, this is why I like Black Prior. He's very offensive, but you need to pull back when you're running out of stam. That's when he becomes very defensive. You can flip him over. I wouldn't do that. Anyways, you can block, basically, but I love the flip over. It pisses them off. It's a very good counter move. Advanced tip number 2, this is more technical now, is the Dache Darko fake. Dache Darko circle right after. So down R1 circle. And then he's going to try to parry it. You either parry it and then hit him, or you flip him over right when his thing's about to land. Honestly, it's more safe to parry it and do that, but if you really want to piss him off, you flip him over right at him to show him a little bit of your skill. Another advanced trick I like to use with him is basically the forward cannabis. I call it the forward cannabis. You basically, when he's kind of like this distance and he's like waiting for you to make a light, you whiff a life in the beginning and then you go cannabis, which I will show examples right now. Now I'm going to be telling you guys what to not do as a Black Prior. These moves, in my opinion, are like absolutely garbage. You probably noticed I have not put them on the list of things I was teaching you because I think they're absolute trash and they're either predictable or slow or just completely useless. First one, I'm just going to go through this quick, is the light heavy swerves like this. You see how like Black Prior is the only one that does this? This is so predictable. You're going to get parried in the first, like, second attack, probably first attack. His heavies are very slow compared to his light. That's his heavy. This is light. His heavy is very slow. And it's just not worth it. It's just so parryable, and in my own experience, it never works out in the end. Also, this move right here, it's his running attack thing where you don't look when you don't lock onto him, and you press heavy. This thing never works. Third thing I think is absolutely useless is just holding the guard. You holding this guard will block light attacks, but they guard break you and they're gonna punish you. It's that easy. So never ever, please do not use this. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a Black Prior like really just go ham with this, but please don't use this. All right, guys. And the last thing I want to show you before, I don't want to waste your guys' time. I'm going to show you one match of me playing Black Prior with all this together and all this honed. And you're going to watch me win against a high-ranking person. What? My last thoughts about this, and I hope you learned something from me doing this. Remember, I put timestamps in the guide. If you want to skip some stuff, I don't want to waste your time, and I want you guys to be the best players and For Honor you can, because I love competition, I love kicking ass, and I like getting destroyed too as well, because you learn more from your losses than your wins, honestly. And remember, you only get good at doing something by doing it. Remember to practice, and you will own it, and you'll be suitable to clap anyone, honestly. And thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked this guide. Please give me a like. It took me a considerable amount of time to do this and all that good stuff. If you liked it. If you disliked it, please give me a dislike. You know me. We out here. But thank you guys. See ya.